And since the applications that we have share the same architecture within ServiceNow, so it's easier to understand how the applications are created here, right? So problem application that we see is, just like the same application, incident application we saw earlier, right? Now you may ask, how is problem different to incident, right? The problem, I would say, problem differs with incident in terms of the severity and the impact, right? So problem is also an incident, but think from the scenario, if that incident is affecting more users, right, or is very severe incident, which is business critical and not letting you, perform your core business functionalities. So if that is the case where you are unable to do your core business functions and it is affecting more users, then that incident can be treated as a problem, and that has to be remediated according to the problem application process flows that you have within the organization, right? So this is how it differs, right? Now a problem application will also have tables associated to it. As we know, every application that we have within ServiceNow is somehow associated to some sort of tables in the backend, and those tables support the data and UI of the application in the front end, right? So you would see there are certain problem applications, problem tables here that we will be using, right? Most of the important tables that relate to problem application are the problem table itself, the problem matrix, problem SLA, like we talked yesterday, service level agreement. So yesterday we talked about service level agreement about incident application. Now we are talking about problem application, right? So it's the same service level agreement, but with different application, right? So this, to define service level agreement for problem application, you will do the same steps, but you will associate problem table there, so that will automatically, relate to the problem records that you create, right? And whatever time frame or duration you allow for a particular type of service level agreement, that will be applicable on the problem records you create, right? And again, the other table which we have here is the problem task table, which will derive itself from the task table, right? Task table being the core table for, or the base table for the problem table. So you can derive the task table here to create the problem task. So somewhere within the problem record that you create, and as the problem record gets processed, problem task will already also be created, and the problem will be closed once those tasks will also be closed completely, right? So problem gets resolved, right? So problem is kind of root cause analysis of the incident, right? Incidents, see, incidents, if you have an incident, somebody calls the help desk and there is an incident, where the help desk person might resolve the issue upfront or may provide you a workaround, right? But workarounds are not foolproof solutions. Workarounds are not solutions. They are just the workarounds, right? They'll allow you to work. They'll fix the issue temporarily, but will not be a permanent fix, right? So problem application takes care of the permanent fix thing, right? So if you have an incident, you deep dive into the root cause of the incident, and then you remediate that incident, right? But then, in order that you enter into the problem application workflow, the condition is the severity and the impact, right? Now, similarly, just like the incident form, we have the problem form here with a number field which you can configure using the number maintenance area. Then you have the configuration item, which is a reference to the CMDB CI table, priority, a drop-down list here with the priority items coming on here as critical, high, moderate, low, and planning. Then you have change request. Now this problem record that you are creating could be a result of one of the changes that you did in your production environment, right? That's why you have a reference to the change request, right? Let's assume that you are making a patch release to one of your software, right? And you did it using change request 3, this change request, right? But after you deployed this change, some problems started appearing, right? So it impacted your production environment. So you have to create a problem record using the problem application here, and then you have to reference the change request that created this problem or incident, right? So that's why you have this problem number here, right? Now, when you create this problem, you may also choose this as known error. Known errors, as you would understand, are those errors which are released by the product team as a known item, meaning they accept that error, and it signifies that this is an error that has been identified by the team, but they are working on it, right? So you may identify this as a known error, and you might also try to remediate this problem, in terms of a change request, right? So for this problem, you may have to create a change request as well to do the permanent fix, right? So stuff like that. I'm throwing you ideas how, what are the scenarios that you can get when you deal with the problem application, right? Then you have knowledge checkbox, because you can create a knowledge article related to the problem application as well. We'll talk about this later. Rest of the fields: opened by, state, assignment group, assigned to. These are the same fields that we have. These has been populated here in the same way, in the same fashion as we had on the incident form. Work notes will contain the work notes. Sorry, this is the work notes list, right? So you can have people who will be watching the work notes list, etc. And then you have short description, close notes, workaround, and work notes, stuff like that, right? So you put in all those information here to create a problem record, and then let's go to some of the records that have been created already. Now see, this is a problem record. Email down is a problem record, because if it is email down, so it is affecting every user of the organization, right? So this is having an impact, a great impact within the organization, because it is impacting more than one user. So this will be treated as a problem, right? See, so this is the problem record created on configuration item this iron mail, and the state is closed right now. But before it was closed, you can see, there was a workaround here. You can see from the work notes, email went down, failed over to alternate server, but need to determine the root cause on iron mail SD01, right? See, root cause remediation is important in problem application. This is very important, right? So ultimately, this problem application could result into a change request, because you have to resolve the problem at the root. So whatever the root cause of the problem is, you have to remediate that as well, right? So this problem request could result into a change request creation, right? Now, the related links that we have with this problem record are communicate workaround, which will send an email to stakeholders of the problem, post knowledge, and post news, right? So when you do communicate workaround, it will send an email out to the people who are associated to this problem record, right? Essentially people in the assignment group, into the assigned to and the person who created it. It will send out emails to those people, right? What is in there within this script? If you have to check that, go to UI actions. You know that related links are UI action. Go to the communicate workaround UI action and see what's written in here, right? You can find out what's written in here. Let's go back. Now again, when you are remediating the problem, when you are doing the permanent fix of the problem, then you must have a Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that, Sam. I had a power cut. Um, so we were talking about now when you have the root cause, analysis done, and you fix the problem, the root cause, the root issue. right? You will try to put that, information into some sort of knowledge articles, just to make sure that in future, if you need that information, right, or anybody from your team or any new person joining your team requires any help around that area, then you do not have to wander here and there to get that information, right? So you will then create your knowledge articles, push knowledge news, etc. So just to make sure that the information that you gathered or the knowledge that you gathered over the period of time while resolving that root cause of the issue, right, is stored somewhere which can be readily accessed by people, right? So that's why you have this link of post knowledge. When you do post knowledge, it will create a knowledge article within the knowledge application. Now you see, this problem application is related to the knowledge application as well, right? So when we go into the knowledge application, and we'll talk about knowledge application. When you go into the knowledge application and we do all, and just like we did on change or incident or problem, if you search on the number field, you will see that a knowledge article has been created now, right? And this knowledge article will take important fields from the problem article and create a knowledge article on its own, right? And then using the short description that you have here, you can go to the home page, and within the knowledge article, you can search that here as well, right? But the condition is, if this knowledge article is published for use, then it will be accessible to you. Right now, it is not published for use, right? So we go back and we go back to the knowledge. Let me search on the short description. I have it here. See, every knowledge article will have a life cycle, right? Right now, it's in draft stage, right? Since it is in draft stage, it will not be accessible by other users. We'll come back quickly to knowledge application. I just wanted to show that whenever you do create a knowledge article from the problem record, a new knowledge article will be created. Let's go into this problem 51 and try to create a new knowledge article, right? So I'll do post knowledge, and a new knowledge article 25 has been created. So you go back and find for this knowledge article, that will be there, right? Now, post news, when you do post news, it will also create a knowledge-based news here, and this will be treated as a news. And news are, see, these are flashed here. The news records will be flashed here, right? But again, that was a record number 26. If you go to the knowledge all, and then you search on the record number 26 that we just created, right? And this one is a news article, right? So somehow you have to, let's publish this. And when we publish this item has been published, it should come here. Now see, the news article is coming on here on the self-service page, right? So 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 the article, so you can create your articles in terms of knowledge articles or knowledge news. So whatever you do, it will be available here. So this knowledge news that you have just created can be searched here as well in the knowledge search, because this is published now, right? If you go there, the state of that knowledge article has changed. It will not be in draft stage anymore. It was in draft, but then I published meaning I already have reviewed that article. So it was initially in draft stage, then it went to review, then it went to published, right? Now, these knowledge articles will be having an expiry date as well, right? So until and unless I mark it as expiry, it will be available for public use. People can access it, right? So either I can go ahead and manually mark this as expired or retire it, or there could be some, expiry date that I will put within the system that will automatically expire the document after, let's say, after X number of days or X number of years, right? So That's about knowledge, posting a knowledge article and posting a knowledge news using problem application, right? Now you also see that two related lists here, which is incident and problem task. Of course, you can go ahead and add more related lists, but down here on the page, you will have two related lists by default, incident and problem task, right, that you can access here. If you want to add more related lists, add related list here and save it. Right? When you save it, you will see those related lists here, right? But by default, incident and problem task will be coming there, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll remove those related lists that we just added. We don't need them here right now. I'll save these, go back. Now see here, this problem is not related to any incident record right now, which shows this problem has directly been reported into the problem application, right, without providing any reference to the incident application, right? Now we see that we have talked about problem records are also types of incident records, right? So this may or may not be. If email server is down, people can the help desk person will directly go ahead and create a problem record because this is affecting more users, right? So they can go ahead and create a problem record. But in at the same time, an individual user can also report that as an incident, right? So if incidents of that sort are also created for the same problem, from the same issue, for the same issue, you can go ahead and associate those incidents as well. For example, you can go ahead and associate those incidents, right? So associating those incidents will give you a larger view of what the problem is, and when that problem is resolved, you will also like to resolve all those incidents that have been created already, right? So that affects the problem resolution workflow here, right? So you have those incidents, close those incidents before you resolve that problem record, right? Now go to problem task. If because of this problem any task has been created, right, that task will be created here and will be shown here in the problem task record, right? And then when you have this task, this is again this problem task is inheriting the task table. So you will see most of the fields here is coming from the task table, right? So it shows that the problem task number with prefix ptask is being created here, and the rest of the items are generic that we see in incident, problem, or change request, right? The generic items are here. The only additional item that I can see is the problem record. So you have a problem task created. You are creating a problem task record here and referencing it to the problem record that was created earlier. All right? So that's how you do that, the problem task. Now you may also like to see the workflow of the problem application if it is there, which is quite comprehensible. So you can go ahead and try to search problem workflows here. Doesn't look like there is a workflow attached to this problem, right? So that brings us to the end of the problem application. If you want to customize this application, the problem application, you have the configuration items available. You can customize their business rules, tables, client scripts, UI policies, data policies, etc. Right? For example, if you want to add more fields to this problem form, right? How do you do that? You create new fields, associate those fields here on the form, and done, right? And then you have to have, if you have to alter the table to include more fields here, you will go ahead and alter the table, create new fields, and go to the form, do form design or form layout, If you want to create more views, you can, when you do form layout, you can create more views to the form, and then you can access it, right? So stuff like these. So the problem application will have these kind of activities. As a developer, you will be asked to, you know, configure these items. These items that you are seeing here in the context menu. So you'll most probably be using all these items here, and we have already talked about these items. So, it's just that you have to change the table references while you are doing all these configurations on the form. All right. Now, if you do this assign to me module, this module will present to you all of the problems which is assigned to you. Again, how do we do that? You have a module, you edit the module, and you go, it's a list of records, and within the list of records, the condition is active is true and assigned to yourself, right? That's a module. This known error module is a module that will show you a list of records, right? But the condition is known error is true. If you mark that problem as known error checkbox, if you tick that checkbox, so that will display that the problem record has been created as requested by the user, but you as a team know that this is a known error, right? So you identify that. So if it is a known error, you have this module here that will bring out all those records which has been marked as known errors, right? So only 4 records in the system are marked as known error, right? And then, so since these are known errors, you might already be working on these known error items in terms of some change requests, right? So according to the process, you might create change requests for these known errors, right, and assign to some the technical teams, the level 2 or level 3 teams. They might be working on that, right? See, this known error has been associated to this change request. So stuff like that, right? Open will show all of the problems which are in open state. There are other states which is pending change, known error, or closed resolved. Okay? Pending will show only those change requests which are in the state of pending change. And again, this module is a list of records on the problem table where a state is pending change. Very simple. You can go ahead and create one more module according to your need, right? For example, you can go ahead and create a module that shows if there is some assignment group, right? So if there is some assignment group, if there is no assignment group, you can create a module. Let's go ahead and do that. And go to the modules, create a new module. That's it. Just save it. So we created a module which is named as no assignment group module. Now we go back here. See, this module is coming up here, no assignment group, and it will show you all those records within the problem table that does not have any assignment group associated to it. Can rest of you hear me? Vikrant is saying he can't hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so this way you can go ahead and create more modules as and when you require those modules. You can create your own modules and those modules will be appearing here. You might wonder why the order is not working here. So for these modules, the order, I kept the order as 3, but it may be that there are other orders, other numbers being used as ordering items. So you can tweak those orders there and then you'll see the items sorted or in order, right? So that's what we have in problem application. Any question on problem application, please? And you have questions? Vikrant, Shweta, Abhi? I see Jyoti as well. Jyoti, if you have questions, please ask me.
No. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, this problem application will be, very much similar to incident application. So you will not have problem understanding this, right? Now that we are already aware of so many applications in ServiceNow, and these are using same ServiceNow architecture, so the application will be on the same line, right? So if you do not have any questions, I'd like to take this knowledge application as well, right? So I'll bring you to this knowledge application homepage where you will see the summary of all you have within the knowledge application, right? And this knowledge application spans different business units or different organizations within your organization. For example, different functions that you have like finance, IT, training, human resources, knowledge, etc. Right? So, all right. So you have these many knowledge bases created already, and these knowledge bases relate to different functions and organizations within the organization. Right? Finance will take care of all the knowledge bases that you create under the finance head, right? Similarly, the human resource knowledge base will take care of all of the human resource articles that you create. IT will take care of all of the IT needs, the IT documentation that you do. And if you see, there are classifications, there are different categories that we have here. And when you open those categories, then you have subcategories like here, right? So these are the classifications that you have. You can drill down and see what are those items, right? So if you are looking for email support on email, you will go ahead and find out within email you have a different classification known as Outlook, and within Outlook you have Outlook 2010, etc. Right? This way, this is classified. This is the items are organized within the knowledge application. Now you can also see some buttons here. You can search these items. You can search for, let's say I'm searching for one article which is vast, right? So it will give me, the article that I created earlier and I titled it as vast. But it will give me a vast ad setups or something like this here, right? And this document is available here. Now you see various features within this knowledge application. It has user rating available here, number of views you can see, how many times this article was viewed by users. Every time you open up, these will increment and these will show up a new record there, right? Then here is the detail that you have published. If you scroll down, you will see author name and when was it modified. And then to the readers, you have the helpful question here. You can mark as helpful or not. So The moment you mark it as helpful or not helpful, it will do some analytics and find out the percentage of usefulness of this article, etc. And the users can comment here as well, right? Then you can flag article, right? Using this button here, you can create an incident on the basis of this article. So this will create an incident, and it will somehow keep a record of the knowledge article that you have created here, right? So, so this is how we have a knowledge application. So all in all, knowledge applications are, you know, a repository within your ServiceNow environment where you keep track of all of the knowledge that you gather over the period of time, and those knowledge that you gather over the period of time spans different technology areas, different business functions, or different business units within your organization, right? So that will be knowledge application. Now, when you navigate to the knowledge application, right, you will have this knowledge management application here, and within the knowledge management application, we already saw this home page. Let's go into the articles, and if you have to create a new article, you will use this module. But before you create a new article, let's go into the all articles that we have here. If you go into the all article, all module, you will see all of the records that have been created into the knowledge application. Right now, there are 53 records created into this application, this knowledge table, and these are the records here. Now see, the article types are HTML, and you also see wiki, right? If I filter out on HTML, it will only show me wiki. So this shows me that articles that we create are either of HTML type or wiki type, right? And if you create HTML type, you will post your document, knowledge, or text in a certain format that will comply to HTML. In wiki, it will be in wiki format. We'll see how to do that, right? So these are article types. The article that you create could be HTML or wiki. And you have the short description, right? This which is non-mandatory short description you have. But when you search on the knowledge application, you can search on the short description. So it's always good to have short description in place, right? Now you see the author of the articles. These are the persons who have created these articles, right? Now again, to create knowledge articles, you must have appropriate roles. So let's go into the roles field here within user administration and roles, and try to find out what roles we have related to knowledge, right? So it's a knowledge admin, and knowledge manager. You can have 3 roles, and here is the description of the roles that you have. Can write, edit, review knowledge management articles, can manage the knowledge base, can administer knowledge bases and request new knowledge bases for knowledge admin to approve, right? So these are the roles that we have. We will see within the knowledge application how we can use these knowledge roles to allow users to do different steps within the knowledge application, right? So these roles will create access rules for you. You know, you can assign people with different roles to limit their access of the application, right? Now this is the category. We just saw on the knowledge form how we can categorize those items, the knowledge articles that we create. For example, email, day-to-day article, or FAQ, or IT, etc. These are the categories that we created already. We'll see how to administer these categories as well. We will see that, right? We'll come back to it. Now the source of the knowledge article. The source of the knowledge article could be a change request or could be a problem request, right? So you can have those references here, right? See, you also see that the incident is also a source of knowledge article, right? So you can identify what is the source of the knowledge article that you have here. Then we have this workflow, which is very interesting and very important for the knowledge application. This workflow will contain, you know, so this is basically a life cycle of the knowledge article. Here it is born, right? This is the birth stage of the knowledge article. Then this is review stage, right? Review meaning you take care of edits and different people review it, see if there are edits required, editing required, right? Um, there may be different people who need to review it and approve it before it is published, right? So publishing is the next stage. Then after published, you may retire this, and then it goes into retirement stage. So if any knowledge article goes into retirement stage, and if you try to search on the knowledge homepage, you will not be able to find that article there because that is already retired, right? So you can only get those articles as a search result which have workflow value set to published, right? The state is published. If the state is published, then only you will be able to search that record. All right. Updated will show the date and time of when this update was done on the knowledge article. Category again is to decorate the articles there. We'll come back to it. Roles. What are the roles that are required to access this knowledge article, etc. Right. So that's why you have these field here. You have tags. If you want to tag, those tags will appear here as well down the list. See these tags. If you want to have those tags here, if you want to search on the basis of tags, you can use tags, etc. This is the generic one. We have been seeing this in other applications as well. Then you have the knowledge topics, right? Topics, we can administer topics as well. We can create new topics like this topic is news topic, this one is a known error, this one is a general knowledge article, like so on and so forth. You can create different topics, right? Flagged is a property. When you open up a knowledge article, right, and use the flag button, so if you flag that article, the value of that field here in this column will turn into true, right? So that's flagging the article. Right now it shows that we have two records into the system that are flagged as true, right? These are the flagged articles. All right. Now let's go back to the menu, the navigation menu here, and let's go into the knowledge article creation. Let's assume, so two knowledge articles we created from the problem application. You can go ahead and directly create a knowledge article right from the knowledge application. So let's do that. We'll create one knowledge article of type HTML, another knowledge article of type wiki, right? So let's go ahead and find out the knowledge base. Right now, we have 5 knowledge bases created already: human resource, training, finance, IT, and knowledge. Let's go ahead and create a new knowledge base, right? So to create a new knowledge base, you can use this new button from here, or you can go into the administration section here, go to knowledge bases and create a new knowledge base. I'm going to create a ServiceNow knowledge base. And the owner of this will be Rahul. I'll not manage the details here. Disable commenting, no, I don't want to disable commenting. Disable suggesting, we don't want to have this. Use this knowledge base to have ServiceNow related record. And I'm going to
Rahul, did you go through when you were creating it, you went through configure to open it?
No. I went to the knowledge application, and within the knowledge
Yep.
administration, I went to these knowledge bases,
Okay.
right? See, because when I
And
go into this
you,
knowledge home page, I only had 5 knowledge bases created already. But I now want that a service now should be a 6th knowledge base that I must have here. That's why I created this knowledge base by going into administration and knowledge bases module, right? And there in the knowledge
okay.
bases module, I created this ServiceNow module here. And the owner of this module is Rahul. You can see here.
Yeah, my question is, my question was, did you use the new button or you use the configure
I use the new button.
when you were creating?
New button.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, this new
Yeah,
button. Right? Now you can go into this
yeah, that one.
knowledge base articles, and you have different related links here. You can view knowledge base. When you do view knowledge base, it will show you all the content of this knowledge base. Right now, within ServiceNow knowledge base, I do not have any article, any item, any category associated. Right? So there are other items like you can create questions that will be there within the knowledge base, right? You can read, can contribute. So these are the rules, etc., that you can create, right? So that's about knowledge base. We will come back to this maybe and see how we can use these data lists, right? Right now we have the knowledge base ready. Let's go into the create new article. Let's go ahead and pick the ServiceNow knowledge base. And within the ServiceNow knowledge base, I'm going to pick the category. Oh, I don't have any knowledge category right now. So let's try to find out how we can create a knowledge category. Right now I am on the same page. I can use this form to create a knowledge category. Right? So I'll create one administration category and put value as administration. Right? And I'll submit it. So now I have created one more classification here. Within ServiceNow knowledge base, I have a administration category, right? Let's go ahead and see source. Within source, you can pick the, change request, whatever change request that you want to associate it to. For example, let's go ahead and associate this change for. So I'm going to associate this change for to this knowledge article that we have here and put some short description. This is a sample ServiceNow knowledge article. Copy this, paste it here, paste it here. Now you can do some formatting as well using this. You can make it bold. You can change the font sizes, etc. Whatever, right? And then you can change the font color, right? Whatever formatting that you want to do here. And when you do search for duplicate, it will try to find out on the basis of these items like short description if you have this kind of article created already. On the basis of short description, source, article type, it will find out if you have duplicate knowledge article created already, right? So if you do not have, it will allow you to create, otherwise it will post a message saying that, you know, you are creating a knowledge article which has been already created. Now you can go ahead and pick any icon for this knowledge article, right? I chose one. I don't know why it is scrolling. Looks like it is information overflow. So I'll use this red button here and I'll submit it. So a new knowledge article has been created by system administrator, which is of ServiceNow knowledge base, and the category is administration. And the state of this workflow, this knowledge article is in draft state right now, right? Now let's go back into the article. Since this is in draft, you will not be able to search this, right? Within the application, within the knowledge application. If you go on the home page and within the search field, if you do search this text, you will see nothing, right? It is saying your search returned too many results, but none of those items were what I was looking for, right? And that's because that knowledge article is still in draft stage, right? Let's go into this knowledge article, right? Now you see that these buttons have popped up, publish, retire, update, search for duplicates, delete. Right? If you have to update this knowledge article, for example, if you add one more line here and you update it, you will be able to update it. So updating doesn't mean that you are changing the state of the knowledge article. It's still in the draft state, right? So updating is that effect that you just update the record, you do not change the state, right? If you do retire, you are changing the state of the knowledge article. But we don't want to retire this knowledge article right now. If you want to upload any attachment in support of this knowledge article that you have created, you can go ahead and do that. For example, let's upload this DLL file here. It's taking too much of time. So it's hung, I think. Let me kill it and then open it one more time. Let's try to upload one document, which is any document. So I'll go to desktop and find out any document. Let's upload this Excel sheet. Alright, so this document has been uploaded and it has been associated to this knowledge article. Right? Now, you can, before publishing, you can view your article and see how your article looks like. So this is how your article will look. Right? So, see, the formatting is preserved as we did earlier. The formatting is here. This is the knowledge article number, this one, and this, the short description that we had there is coming as a title of the article. Right? So you have this title here. Now, we didn't choose this display attachment, so we can go ahead and choose this display attachments. When you do display attachment, this attachment will be displayed here within the knowledge article. See, if I go back and untick this, do view article, see this link has gone, right? So you can use this display attachment to see the attachments so that users can also download those attachments. That's how you can do. Now let's publish this. This knowledge article does not have any approval request right now. No feedback, no affected products, etc. So I'm going to approve this. I am going to publish this knowledge article. When I do this publish, this item will now be available for users to see. So if you go back to the knowledge home page or knowledge article and search this knowledge article, it will now appear as an item within ServiceNow knowledge base. Right now you can see this knowledge article coming in. You can hit this one, and all right. So we did one more thing. If you go back, we created this attachment link. I'm going to update this, and I'm going to search this one. Now this should open up the knowledge record here, right? Since I enabled the attachment link, so there were two items. See, the first item was attachment link, another one was display attachment. So when we do display attachments, it will show a link on the form and let you download that attachment. But when we do this attachment link, it will open up the record here in form of attachment, and when you hit this one, it will download the form. It will download the the file that has been uploaded to this article, right? So we don't want to have that here, so we are just unticking that. We untick that, and now it is showing me the article here, right? Now let's go back. So this was how we searched here. If I go to the knowledge homepage, if I go to ServiceNow, I now see there is one article created, right? But there are 0 questions. Can we create questions to this knowledge article? Of course we can, right? But let's hit the ServiceNow link here and try to find out the article. So the article is, that's not coming here. Wait a second. There must be some property that we need to set to get that knowledge article there. Anyway, for questions, if you want to have some questions that will display there, so, alright, if you want to have some category associated, we don't want category associated right now. No tagging, and I submit it. So there is a question that this question has been created now, right? And when we go into the knowledge article, knowledge homepage, within ServiceNow, knowledge base, now I have a question and one article. So this question comes up here. When you hit that, anybody can go ahead and put their answer, right? So go back. You go to the home page, go to the ServiceNow, open up. So here is the question that you created. I wrongly put this detail here. I should not have done that. There is one view and one answer, right? So you are bringing people here and you are getting the answer here. So you can create knowledge articles. You can engage people within the knowledge base here to get question and answers done using knowledge application. All right. So that's how we create knowledge articles. We still need to find out why this is not coming up as an article here. Let's find out. It's published. This is in category administration. looks like the knowledge category is not associated to that knowledge base article. So we can go to the tables and try to find out the knowledge category. So we have this KB underscore category table. You go to this KB underscore category, and then you have this administration label created. Let's look into and see the parent ID. Table name is knowledge base. That's correct. And I'll go ahead and pick ServiceNow associated and save it. Now we should be able to see that knowledge article when we go to, sorry, when we go here. Now I am able to see this administration category, right? So you have this administration category. We created this administration category, but we didn't associate that category to the knowledge base. Now that we have associated that knowledge category to the knowledge base, we can see that item coming up here. All right. So this way you do that. You create knowledge articles, you associate to different knowledge bases, you create categories, you associate those, you create questions, allow users to answer to the questions, right? And then you manage all of those stuffs, those knowledges here within your knowledge base application, right? And this could be related to any application within ServiceNow, right? Or you can utilize this ServiceNow for any third-party application knowledge base as well, right? So it totally depends how you want to use your knowledge base application here, right? Now, these modules that we have, the unpublished one will show you all of those articles that are unpublished. Published will show you all of the articles which are published. Retired will show you all of the articles which are retired. Flagged show you the flagged articles. Open submissions will show you all those articles. Let's see what this is. Open submissions will show you, yeah, all of those articles where all of those records on the KB submission table where active is true, right? Knowledge based submission table, right? Now within knowledge base administration, we looked into the knowledge bases. Now we have the table known as feedback. So basis all of the feedback that we provide on the knowledge base article. For example, if user goes here and tries to search any knowledge article, if I search this knowledge article, I open this, and then as a user, I want to provide a feedback to it or a comment, some sort of comment here. I'm posting some comment here. This comment will go into these tables here that we have, right? If it is helpful, I can mark it helpful, yes, and this will go into this knowledge feedback information and ratings information, right? So if I go here, see, there is a record created. So this one is a comment that has been created on the same knowledge article 28, and this one contains the feedback that we have created. Useful is yes here, right? So the way you interact with the knowledge articles, you provide your feedback. All those feedback will be stored somewhere here in the database, right? And this can then be populated as a report somewhere on the knowledge homepage or on a knowledge dashboard, right? Now, see, there is a beautiful feature that we have with the knowledge base application is the search log. So whatever search that you are doing within the knowledge application, ServiceNow is crawling that data. For example, if I want to search this crawl, the text that I am searching is crawl. There is no data that's returned as crawl. Or if I am searching SAM, for example, let's go back to see within the search log if we have those data. Right? So we search for crawl, we search for SAM, all those data that we are searching for goes here. Right? It's getting recorded. So you may see that the type of information your users are looking into. And basis this information, basis this raw data, you can design your knowledge base application accordingly, right? Maybe you like to tag your knowledge base articles using these keywords that users are actually looking for, so that whenever users look for those documentations or knowledge articles using these keywords, the knowledge base application will return the appropriate knowledge articles created. All right, make sense? So that's about search log. These are navigation add-ons, nav-ons, right? If you go to the IT knowledge base, you have these nav-ons created. You can create nav-ons of your own for, let's say, you want to create for ServiceNow. Let's see how it has been created. And you can create your own page. So let's do that. Something like this. There is no script right now, so this will be meaningless. We have to create a nav on and associate a script to it. So this script is opening that page, right? We can do window.open. So we can do like this. We can create a new one, service now, nav on, link URL as something. That's now.do, and then we can do, let's do window.open, and here we can do www.google.com or something, and just submit it, right? So this way you can create your own nav-ons, and then you have to use these nav-ons. Somewhere on the page you will be using those navigation add-ons, right? We will see how to use that. I'll do that and I'll come back to you. And then the rest of the items that we have are messages, properties, overview, and user criteria. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. So this is, mostly about what we have in